Thanks. Hey everyone, welcome to ACDC 164. I'll put the agenda here in the chat. It's issue 1700 on the PM repo. And yeah, so the agenda is pretty light today because we're all quite busy with Fusaka and making progress there on the road to mainnet. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, really, let's check in with DevNet 3. There's been a number of issues that people have been dealing with. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything to discuss there. I know there's been rounds of finality on the test or DevNet, and then rounds of non-finality. Barnabas put together this doc here with a bunch of open issues. So yeah, anything anyone wants to touch on? I'm not sure if Barnabas or maybe Perry are here. They could speak to that a bit more. Okay, they might be out today. But yeah, essentially just like a number of different bugs across a mix of clients. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else worth touching on it right now. Okay, Kini says Lighthouse bugs should be fixed now and unstable. That's good to know. Okay, prison bug fixed. Cool. Yeah, no issues for Nethermind or Geth here. So yeah, I mean, again, I think people are generally busy with these bugs and or fixing them. And the plan would be to roll out updates to DevNet 3 as soon as we're there. Oh, no worries. Barnabas is here. Yeah, Barnabas, we're talking about DevNet 3 and any syncing issues, along with any other general issues. I don't know if you have another update beyond that you'd like to give.
So I combined a list of documents for, I collected all the feedback from the different client teams and I posted it in the PM repo. I think I have the link for it.
Oh yeah, I put it in the chat here. Maybe I'll just repaste it. You might not be able to see it. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything. There's a number of things in here, but yeah, some of the clients are saying in the chat that some of the bugs are fixed. Teku says they're still working on some RPC things, but yeah, looks like everyone's making progress.
Yeah, so we want to confirm that everybody has their trunk branches updated with all the fixes. And once that's done, then we're gonna try to get DevNet 3 up to very close to 100% participation, and then we make another up to non-finality event for after that we can think about launching DevNet 5 with 1,500 nodes.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're at. Unless anyone has anything else to add, that's kind of just the status with soccer right now. Squashing bugs, getting ready to move on to the next step. DevNet 5 will be one of these larger DevNets like DevNet 4. And from there, we'll have some data to know how to proceed to testnets and then ultimately mainnet. But we're not quite there yet. Yeah, with all the open issues we have. So that does tee us up into DevNet 5. And again, I'm not sure there's much to touch on, just given where we're at. But yeah, any questions or comments right now? Okay. Then there's really just one other thing we wanted to touch on today. So last ACDE, last week, we touched on the protocol upgrade process doc. I'll grab a link here in case you want it. And this document kind of came in response to Pectra, where we had a number of issues across some test nets that were pretty gnarly to fix. This process document lays out kind of a timeline that both, ourselves as core developers, but also the community can use to coordinate around these upgrades, as talking about timelines for test nets, just simply because, especially with Fusaka, in the event that we want to try to move as quickly as we can, getting Haleshki, Sepolia, and Hoodie all together following the process doc implies one set of timelines. And the question came up, can we essentially move faster? And more generally, like what is safe? What's the right trade-off between speed and safety here? And in response to that, so Tim couldn't make it today, but he went back and looked at the calls where we discussed this previously. We had said that essentially we had a given scheduling for timelines in the doc, and that was the most contentious point back when we first discussed this. So if anything, now is the time to revisit this. In response to that, Tim made a PR to this document that suggests some changes. He also reached out to a number of different L2s, LSTs, other infrastructure providers, and generally people were okay with these changes. And let me just grab a link to the changes here. So let me summarize them. Essentially, don't couple testnet and mainnet forks and client releases, which we kind of already had that, but just making it clear. It's okay to have multiple testnet forks in one release. Then I think the first concrete change here is saying a minimum of 14 days rather than 30 days between client releases and the first testnet. Then his proposal here in the PR is minimum 10 days between each testnet, but closer to 2 weeks is ideal. Then we keep this invariant of how days between client releases and mainnet. So he wanted to discuss this today, and there's some actually quite a feedback on the PR. And there's also some comments here on the agenda itself. So I don't know if people want to respond to any of this. Otherwise, I think the ask would be to go ahead and either approve the PR or surface any feedback there. Generally, I think this is a nice refinement. It gives us, a little flexibility around how we want to think about pipelining testnet upgrades, just again, so that we can not have all these big chunks of time between these different stages. But yeah, even just looking across this, there's a lot of different opinions on this. So I will open the floor now for comments on that or any questions if it wasn't clear what I was talking about. Have people had time to look at this? Otherwise, it's not clear if silence is I'm okay with it or I just have no opinion because I haven't looked at it.
Basic team has not had enough time to look at this.
Okay. We did have a comment in the chat here from Lighthouse, generally in favor of the changes. I guess one thing to note here is we, obviously this is in the context of Fusaka timelines. And if we kind of follow the letter of the document, it would put a lot of time, given that we essentially have 3 test nets to go through with Haleshki this go around. That being said, Haleshki is being deprecated, so it seems fine to have a bit more of a compressed timeline there, where, if we kind of consider Sepolia to be our first quote real test net, that would still follow this like 30 days buffer that was in the original document. And then separately, this PR does kind of set us up to move faster in general around testnet timing. Okay, Phil from Lodestar says they'll take a look. It'd be good to get approval from non-core devs on the PR too. Yeah, so I know Tim did reach out to a number of different community members, and generally they're all on board. I think probably the most crisp feedback was from Lido here on the PR. Find it. They're kind of arguing for a bit more time, I think, especially on the first testnet fork. So yeah, given that people haven't really had time to digest this that much, yeah, Prism just said this as well. Oh yeah, Justin.
So one of the things that was a bit of an issue back in the Pectra days, and that my understanding is this process was to address, was kind of the mixed use nature of the test nets, where we want them to be test nets that we break or may break. Obviously, we don't want to, but they are breakable. And L2s, app developers, staking providers, etc., are kind of using those as staging environments before they go to production. I don't really see anything in the ongoing discourse or the proposed changes to any of these processes that kind of addresses that. So from my perspective, this is still kind of an outstanding issue that we haven't really addressed yet. And I'd like to see a little bit more of a concrete perspective on that. So if we have one, I'd love to hear that shared, or to hear feedback from L2s, app devs, staking providers, etc. And if we don't have that yet, I'd like to see that more before we modify the existing process. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I know Tim reached out kind of directly to different people, but yeah, he did encourage them to chime in publicly. But yeah, definitely something we can make more transparent. So yeah, I can reach out to different people and see what I can do there. Okay, Barnabas says something here about shadow forks. So yeah, we'll have them all test nets going forward, which is just an additional place to catch any issues. Okay, I mean, it kind of sounds like there's not much more to add here. So in that case, yeah, please take a closer look, both as client teams and anyone listening. Take your feedback to the PR. I think is probably the best place for it right now. And yeah, I'll do what I can on my end to get clear sort of public statements from these different community players. And yeah, we'll move forward there. So that was really all we had on the agenda. I wanted to keep it pretty light today because again, everyone's just focused on Fusaka. Yeah, any other things for discussion? Otherwise, this will be a very short call today. Okay, then good luck with Fusaka. Okay, Alexi here's asking, I think you mean about the Fusaka timelines, and yeah, I think given where we're at, it's a little premature to like talk about them concretely. Um, you know, the next steps here would be getting DevNet 3 together, like Barnabas was saying. If we think everyone has fixed all the bugs, then we do one more finality, non-finality test there. If that looks good, then we can move back to DevNet 5, like we had discussed. And from there, you know, we can kind of stick to the rest of the schedule. But yeah, it's I'm not sure until we get through those first couple milestones how we're going to discuss timelines and have them really make too much sense. I did post something on Discord on the All Core Devs channel on the ETH R&D server. That's probably my latest view of what makes sense. But yeah, otherwise, again, until we have DevNet 3 sorted out and 5 running, it's a little premature. Marius is asking releases on Monday. If you feel like you're ready to make a release, you could. But again, I don't think we'll have even Yeah, I don't think we'll even have more than a few clients who will be ready. Okay, Barnabas is asking trunk branches merged by Monday. Yeah, that seems like the next milestone for everyone. And I feel like that was kind of the current item for everyone. But if we need to make that clear, is there more to say there, Barnabas?
Not from my side. I'm just hoping that we can get everyone to fix in all their known bugs by Monday.
Okay. I mean, are there clients who don't have most of a trunk branch ready? I thought it was more that we kind of had good progress there, and it was more now just fixing bugs that had come up.
I think some clients are still working on merging all the PureDust features into their trunk branches.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, getting everything into a trunk branch by Monday would be great. And yeah, otherwise, squashing bugs. Mario hasn't asked to check Hive here if there are any outstanding issues. Yeah, Mario would like to say something.
Yeah, just basically that. Please check the link. We're going over the failures, but if you guys can check them too, please yeah, please do so. It will be very nice. Yeah.
Okay, I think it should be clear what the next steps are for everyone. And otherwise, I would propose we close the call so people can do that and we can keep Osaka moving. I guess just to touch on Glamsterdam, just as a sort of reminder, we had said that we would have the next step there for EIPs for Glamsterdam would be with Osaka mainnet releases. Again, it's hard to say exactly what calendar date that is, given the progress with Osaka, but just as an FYI, keep that moving in parallel. Okay. Sounds like we've gotten what we're going to get out of this call. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Oh, one last hand. Yeah, Marcin?
Hi, I would like just to highlight that when testing EIP with Modex gas cost increase, we found that one transaction is failing, like one contract seems to be broken. We already know that it's from Align Liar, and it's being discussed right now on Gaslim's testing channel on Telegram. So I'm just highlighting that there is potential issue where the CIP will break the contract, but yes, it's being discussed right now on on Telegram.
Okay. And these were changes with Fusaka, right? The mod XP changes made in Fusaka.
Yes, it's about Osaka.
Okay. Yeah. Anything anyone here needs to know there beyond check out this Telegram channel if it's relevant? Okay. Then yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up. I'll see you all next time, and good luck with Fusaka.
Bye.